All right, we are live. Nitya,
Hi Vishal. Am I audible?
yes, you are.
Shall we wait for some time?
No, please go ahead.
Now let's go
Okay,
ahead. This, okay.
let's start then. So,
Let's
finding
start. Nitya.
inspiration. Yeah, sure. Finding inspirations are a part of everyday life. It might be the words of great people that inspire you, experiences you read about, or conversations you heard of. Inspiration doesn't need a platform to find you. It's beneficial when we hear conversations of people from different industries. At the same time, it is important to raise your queries about it. Good afternoon to everyone joining us here. I extend a big thank you for taking your precious time out. I am Nitya Pandey, a part of the digital team at Hylobiz as a social media marketer. It is said that the fourth industrial revolution is underway, and it is the digital revolution. From analog electronic and mechanical devices to the high tech digital technologies today, the digital era has escalated a long way. And as the saying goes, in the digital world, keep up with the trends to grow. I take a huge pleasure introducing our CEO, Mr. Vishal Gupta. When I say experiences says a lot, Vishal has been a part of the industry with 2+ decades, living through the trends of digitization, starting from senior embedded engineer to the fintech industry that visions to lead SMEs digitization across the distribution value chain. It's a pleasure to have you on this forum, Vishal.
Thank you so much, Nitya. Appreciate for having me and looking forward for a lovely discussion.
So, about Hylobiz, catering to a wide range of customers in India, UAE, and Bahrain, Hylobiz has a powerful, simplified tool to automate payment reminders, auto reconciliation of receivables, and helps business fast track their way to invoice collection. This briefs everything we vision to provide growing businesses. The list of offerings doesn't end here, helping auto-sync invoices from any ERP, connected banking services, auto reconciliations into ERPs. Hylobiz seamlessly integrates with just 2 clicks with many popular ERP. Today, we are here to discuss about how are we building financial service marketplace for SMEs, about Hylobiz and its recent partnerships, and also to understand more on how this is helping SMEs. We'd like to hear directly from our CEO. Welcome to the session, Vishal.
Thank you so much, Nitya. Lovely to have you spearhead the discussion and looking forward to a fruitful discussion. Would love to hear questions from the audience if there are any so that we can deliver something meaningful and share our experiences.
We would surely invite the audience to ask their questions on the topic or any question related to us. So, let me start with a very basic question. We are aware that the financial services are the economic services provided by the finance industry. We would like you to put some light on the concept of financial service marketplace.
Um, yeah, I guess from a marketplace perspective, I guess it's not really a new word anymore to the audiences and to people at large. We see a lot of marketplaces with respect to our day-to-day usage today, be it an Amazon or a Flipkart, where we buy groceries to apparel to shoes and to the sports equipment, day-to-day daily usage or phones and the electronics. Basically, I mean, all pieces, all needs of your usage coming along in one single window to check out, and that's essentially, I guess, how marketplaces got defined. Not new to industry at large. Uh, Within the financial services space, again, I guess there's been quite some action over the past decade or so. The great references to probably look after would be uh, platforms like Policy Bazaar, Bank Bazaar, uh, guys like Echo in terms of insurance space and so on, right? Wherein the aggregation of a given segment of financial services are happening. Financial services for marketplace, when we say that, I guess very clearly we define ourselves as financial services which are very relevant for a given businessman. And I personally have been in business for a little over 1.5 decade now with multiple startups. So as a business, you always figure out, that there are too many broken pieces when it comes to managing your day-to-day business or managing the financial services that you would want to have access to. And that's where I guess people define it differently in terms of what a given marketplace would like to deliver. But I guess financial services marketplace for the businesses, as we envisioned, was digitizing their day-to-day business, wherein their transactions flow through us, their monies flow through us, and at any point in time they need access to working capital, they need to borrow money, they need to do some insurance for their product or their transactions. It all is available to them at one single window. So that's essentially the definition of financial services marketplace, wherein I would say a lot of fintech companies and even the banking partners that we work with, many of them are looking forward to build the offerings in a very holistic manner to serve their customer, which I guess effectively is a marketplace avatar where everyone wants to get to.
The trends are changing, and obviously the financial service sector is a part of the day-to-day lives for everyone. So i so that is something which is very easy to understand nowadays. What benefit do you think financial marketplace has for small and medium enterprises?
I guess efficiency, being able to, at least, I mean, with respect to what we have seen, based on the past 2.5 years of experience within India, UAE, where we have been live with financial services marketplace ourselves, uh, we see the cash flow management efficiencies within our platform, wherein the businesses have a real time view on their transactions, on their monies, on their reconciled transactional monies, data, all of that, right? I mean, a real time connect also with their vendor, supplier, buyer ecosystem. Overall, I guess what we are saying here is the benefits that any platform or a solution that needs to deliver to their target customer has to translate either in terms of building efficiency on the systems through maybe some automation, saving money, wherein possibly the automation itself would help, and growth of business, right? Wherein the businesses can look forward to grow their business multifold, grow their revenues multifold through the ecosystem and the tools provided around it. And in a way, marketplaces in true sense, wherein as we define it in Hylobiz context, efficiency through automation, wherein all your reconciliation, your communication management with the customers is all automated. That's one. Reducing cost of transactions, wherein since it gets automated, it's manual intervention, it's all automated, so you basically cut down your cost, so that's cutting down cost. And when you're looking at growth, most of the times the SME, SMB segments, Nitya, that we are looking at and that we cater to, they are always looking for a quick working capital access. And that's basically, I guess, the crux of the financial services or the core financial service that any businessman is looking for at any point in time. Because the SMEs and SMBs typically work on a rotational working capital. They move the same money every 30, 60, 90 days. And the whole efficiency for them is how quickly it can come back. So those are the first two pieces which we spoke about. And the third piece is essentially the access to capital, wherein we like it or not, I mean, the legacy systems, the whole banking ecosystem, the whole underwriting ecosystem within the lending space is complex. It's not easy. And not blaming it on the system as such. I mean, overall, the SME segment has been widely distributed, organized, and hence it becomes very difficult for the lenders and the underwriters to write the check when they need to borrow money. And that, I guess, is something which directly marries to the growth of the business, because now this business can potentially very quickly borrow 15, 20, 10 lakh rupees and rotate that money very quickly and make their additional 4 5% on that money, which most of the time these guys cannot do because of the reasons that I mentioned. So yeah, so I guess these are largely three benefits, right? I mean, efficiencies through automation, cutting down cost, and being able to grow your business multifold through the access of these financial services. And all of this coming together in one single marketplace, I guess, is the key, wherein everything is complementary to each other. And these are the challenges that the SMBs have been facing, which we have gone after.
So, in that case, how does Hylobiz, as a powerful and simplified tool, play a vital role in this?
Yes, I guess probably what I explained, the whole automation. So today, as we look at businesses, the businesses have multiple accounting engines. They use Excel sheets, they use Word documents and PDFs in terms of invoices flying around, purchase orders flying around. When the time comes to collect the money, there is a lot of manual intervention, calling these people, sending reminders. Once the monies are into the bank, then the challenge starts for the business owner, specifically, is to reconcile the money, right? So a businessman has sent out invoices worth 1 crore rupees, but he has received only 50 lakhs. Where is the balance 50 lakh? Who has paid fully? Who has paid partially? So there is a lot of multiple tools which come into play, and people, of course, right? Wherein the dependence of a business owner is on his accountant, on his salespeople, to figure out where all these processes have to be knitted together. So Hylobiz, at a very foundation level, step one. I mean, 2 years back when Hylobiz launched with its first uh, transaction set, it was all around collections automation and everything that I spoke just now, right from the invoice creation on a Word, Excel, or a Tally or a Microsoft Dynamics, sending the reminders out, sending the payment links out, collecting the money into the bank of the business owner, and reconciling that information back into their respective tools. This whole process was probably dependent on four people. Now this whole thing can be done automatically with HighLevels, right? No, no purchase of additional tools or licenses required. Connect your existing process with HighLevels as it is, and this whole process gets automated. And at any point in time, the business owner just opens his phones and sees, what money is in the market, what is in the bank, and what is still in the transit, if it is cash and check being picked up by their staff, and so on and so forth. Moving on, similar challenges on the payouts. So a business who runs and collects, let's say, 500 invoices a month, money for 500 invoices, they possibly have 50 payouts also to be done. So even for these 50 payouts, the business owner basically has to sit down with his accountant and on his Excel sheet and on his emails and printouts every second day or every week once at least, to make sure the vendors are paid on time, right vendors are served at right times. uh, then someone uploads this data into the banking portal, and then the payouts happen. And in between, if the money equation has changed, they have to do the whole process right from the beginning. So this is again something which gets automated fully with Hylobiz, and that was our transaction set 2 last year when we went live with it. So Hylobiz basically has worked through the principle of connected ERP, connected solutions of the business owner, whatever they run with, and connected banking, whichever bank account this SME has. So these two pieces get connected through Hylobiz, and through this connectivity is where the first two transactions that we launched, collections and payouts automation. This is what basically solves 90% of the headache that a typical business owner has on a day to day basis. Where to collect from, whom to pay, when to collect, when to remind, when to pay. All of this is dealt with this Hylobiz as we speak. And connecting it with the earlier question from the marketplace of that is now where we are starting to launch the lending products, uh, something what the world is very familiar about right now is buy now, pay later products, business owners, credit cards, and so on and so forth, right? I mean, that is the next series of products which we are launching. And I guess within this quarter, we would have significant 6 to 8 partners with whom we would be getting the working capital access eased out for our business partners who are on our platform. And in the later quarters of this calendar year is where we are looking at that we would have the GST payouts and insurance and other transactions also covered. So
So the
Hylobiz
auto-
essentially, in a very holistic way, shaping up through the foundation of collections, payouts, connected ERPs, connected bank, the whole financial layer stack.
so the automation would take care of the business health along with a lot of upcoming things. So
Absolutely.
what brought you the idea behind Hylobiz?
Yeah, I guess as an entrepreneur, you keep getting few ideas here and there, but I guess it was a big, massive thanks to the fintech ecosystem that I was connected with before Hylobiz. I did another startup before Hylobiz, which dealt with selling technology into banks, NBFCs, payment service providers, payments aggregators in India, in Middle East, in Africa. So my customers were typically banks and regulated entities who bought technology from us. And I guess more often I would get into these discussions with a lot of friends and bankers that I had built into the ecosystem across the corridors. That there was a lot of digitization that had happened over the past decade within the B2C segment. So, for example, you and me, if we were to go out today, didn't matter if we were going to some hill station in northeast, or maybe eating a pani puri or a bhutta on the roadside, right? I mean, we can actually live on plastic or our phone, thanks to the whole India stack, UPI, QR code payments. You don't really need cash in your hand today, which wasn't the case 10 years back, or let's say even 5, 6 years back. It was still getting adoption in place. Uh, Not the case in the B2B transactions when it comes to that, right? I mean, B2B transactions, when there are two businesses transacting, a supplier, a wholesaler, or a manufacturer selling goods to a retailer or maybe to a wholesaler or a distributor, right? In this value chain, there is still a lot of paperwork. So invoices gets done, invoices go out manually or over the emails. The ledgers and the account statements are going every single fortnight or every single month. And more often you will figure out that the both sides of the accountants would not agree to each other for what account statement has landed. This essentially lands into the whole delay of payments, and then even when the payments are coming, the whole reconciliation aspect of it, right? I mean, the payment which has come to me today, is it against invoice number 10 or invoice number 17? I don't know, looking at the payment coming into my bank. Is it full payment? Is it partial payment? So the accountant has to break their head to figure it out before they even go and report to the business owner what is the cash flow situation. So, so these were very early few signs or readings in the market. This is roughly 3 years back, is what I'm talking. Wherein we looked at, most of fintech companies, most of our friends, they were trying to look at the whole market from a very different angle. Everyone was trying to give working capital access to the same SMB segment, and wherein we looked at it and we said, if we actually automated their day-to-day life fast, wherein they are able to collect their money faster, if we are able to build that efficiency for the money that they have in their pocket, riding on that information, it would become much easier for someone like us to be able to lend them more capital whenever they need, because the whole thing becomes very contextual. I mean, an analogy that I can give you today is of someone like Zest Money, for example, right? So Zest Money is on Amazon or a lot of marketplaces as a lender, uh, targeting largely the youth or the
Mhm.
Gen Z people, saying that you want to buy a TV now, Zest Money will give you money based on your transactional data over the past 6 months or 1 year within Amazon, based on what you would have bought, what your trend look like. Did you pay on time? Did you pay upfront? Did you finish your EMIs later? All this data is available. So on the similar thesis is where we were coming from, that while we learned in the market that there was a lot of broken processes within the SME segments,
Mhm.
purely with respect to collections and payouts. Uh, Again, different people have been solving this problem worldwide, again, from different angles. We said we are not going to build the whole solution wherein we walk in and we say this solution will solve all problems of your life. We said you use a Tally, you use a SAP, or you use a Word or an Excel sheet. You continue using those tools as it is, no change on the process, no learning new technology. You just connect your existing tool with us, and we will take care of rest of your collections, payouts. We will not even, so we did not, we were very clear, we would not even force the bank account opening for these businesses, right? Because they already had quite a few bank accounts. So we said we
Mhm.
will connect you with the existing bank account of yours. So I guess that's more like the solution side of it. But I guess largely coming from the problem statement, broken processes, uh, no new technology adoption was easy for these SMBs. So you had to make sure that they stayed with the existing technology as it is, and you just plugged in. And from a use case perspective, a typical businessman had collections challenge, payout challenge, working capital access challenge, staff management challenge on the ground where the cash and check gets collected, communication between the accountants challenge, and bill payments and few other, right? So these are like 7 8 big problems that we picked up based on the learning in the market, and we started going after each one of them one at a time. And today, I guess we sitting at probably 90% of those problem statements addressed within Hylobiz.
So, what happens is it is a slow process for businesses or anyone to adapt to the changes. But giving them or providing them a singular platform where they could don't have to rely on new technologies, but actually work on the ones they are already familiar with, and that too at a single platform. That is something that would actually gain their trust or over the time period when they actually try to process it and start using it. So with that, HiloBiz is growing. According to our North Star metrics, we processed 45,000 plus invoices with 70 plus crore transaction value. Are we close to our benchmarks we had for the fiscal year 2021?
Yeah, so I guess one can always be greedy and say we expected 10x of this. But overall, I would like to say, Nitya, that for the tough times, I guess the whole world has been through over the past couple of years, and more so the SME, SMB segment at large,
Mhm.
because they were the ones who were most impacted. Uh, we are very happy with what we have been able to achieve in terms of our adoption, in terms of building the product to such a robust stage where we are. Uh, we we were hoping, I mean, when we were in 2019, 2020, we were hoping that by 2021 we would be at least present in two corridors, and by end of 2021 is where we were looking at launching UAE, which I would say because of COVID we ended up fast forwarding, and we launched almost 9 months ahead of our schedule in UAE as well. In terms of numbers, I guess overall 1 lakh plus SME ecosystem on our platform today speaks for itself, that the product and the solution is something meaningful and is helping and solving the problem. But I guess in a big way, what we are aiming is to put the whole financial services marketplace with multiple banking partners that we have already signed up, and a lot more, I guess, some great stuff and great news to arrive with a few global strategic partnerships that we have recently signed, with which I believe we would fuel our growth exponentially here onwards. But yeah, I guess from a benchmark perspective, we wanted to grow approximately 10x. within the calendar year 2021 that we finished, and we actually did more than that in terms of our numbers, in terms of our platform growth, and is the same 10x growth is what we are aiming for calendar year 2022 from where we stand right now. So given that we have things becoming a little brighter and sunny for us, we will hit that too. I'm confident.
Cross fingers to that. So, what are the offerings that you would like to? I mean, the audience would like to know what are the offerings that Hylobiz provides to the small businesses.
Sure. So largely, I guess one, to start with, no process change. Whatever tools a business is using today, those businesses connect with Hylobiz standalone. uh, Automate your collection, and when I say automate collection, it is just not a data reporting, it's the actual money flowing through us. So we bring the money, we settle the money, we reconcile your books. So that's the whole collection management end to end, or call it invoice management. But the journey is just not the papers flying around or the digital statements going out, it's also the collection of money and bringing that money back to the business owner's bank account. Similarly, the payouts, automating your payouts, which is a tedious process today, and again broken at multiple legs. We do that today. Then, while we very confidently say that don't connect any new tools, there have been tons of cases wherein businesses were still using a Word or a Excel or a PDF format. They wanted to use something digital, but
Mhm.
a lot of these digital tools were complex for them, given they were very small teams. So we ended up building those capabilities within Hylobiz, wherein you could generate invoices, purchase orders, manage inventories, manage the whole supply chain flow through a single platform across the brand.
Mhm.
So those are certain digitization aspect of the tool. But largely, I guess collections payouts is what we keep hammering on as our strong offering forte. That's something which has been winning us partnerships, bank relations, strategic relations globally, and also the love and trust with our target segment, which is the SME, SMBs, and the corporates. Over and above, I guess we're looking at now to get the set of financial services in place, which is the lending products, insurance products, GSTs. So these are all our roadmap items in the next 2 quarters, wherein invoicing will get linked, GST payout will get linked, bill payments will get linked. So just imagine a wholesaler, manufacturer, a plant owner, or a brand. Their day-to-day transactions are collecting money, paying money to vendors, to staff, to reimbursements, making bill payments, making tax payments, borrowing money from a bank or a lender, or possibly buying insurance for inventory or logistics in transit and stuff. So all these products is basically going to be a single window access through Hylobiz financial marketplace.
We hope it is utilized. All the offerings are utilized to the fullest. We hope that. While we are on this, connected banking is gaining popularity among small business owners. What do you think could be the driving force for it?
Yeah. So I guess at large, what we have seen, the trends on the ground is certain benefits. So the moment you're looking at a business or an individual to adopt a new technology, adopt a new tool, what we largely see is cashbacks. We see certain benefits that the user is expecting from
Rewards.
the tool to come through, certain rewards to come through. I guess that's by design. I believe that's the human nature. We all are looking for a reward before we uh, try something new. It's like,
Indeed.
even in childhood you are given a target and then you get a new pair of shoes if you win that match or you score certain numbers. So I guess that's by design. I guess people think that way, but largely when it comes to the whole digitization piece, the financial services piece, connected banking, and the whole digitization aura around it, in the past 2 years at least, COVID has led to a lot of adoption already. Uh, I mean, the stats talk about it. I mean, the UPI adoption in India, for example, because we have the digital rails, overall IMPS, I mean, the adoption of WhatsApp, Google Pay, Phone Pay, all these tools usages by the individuals have simply gone through the roof. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, it was roughly 2.5 billion transactions a month back, uh, wherein UPI hit those kind of numbers ever first in the lifetime. So I think overall adoption, digital acceptance of payment has grown significantly in the past couple of years, and businesses, I believe, are seeing the benefit more and more through the connected banking. Still early days, I would say. There is a lot more to come through, and the rewards which possibly the businesses are looking forward is, it's a dream for a business wherein you are thinking or you want to make a payment to your vendor, and there comes a pop-up on the screen that you can borrow money at such a low cost or such a low price from your banking partner. And these are the rails, these are the contextual offering. Even the banks are starting to build with partners like us, and there are tons of fintechs out there who are building very similar journeys, offering it to a different target groups and different segments. So I think real proof of pudding would be when those products start lending. But in large, we see a lot of businesses adopting uh, the digital payments already. And as long as, I guess, people adopt, uh, the word of mouth travels around, and there are more and more people adopting the same technologies. So it has been a decent spike over the past 2 years, and our expectation is that in the next 3 to 5 years, we will see upwards of 30-40% of this target market that we are going after is all ready and baked for the digital adoption.
COVID has definitely fastened up the process of tapping into the newer markets for small businesses. That is
So,
absolutely why the 2 years have been beneficial. So, we recently had some major partnerships in the fiscal year 2021. Would you like to share about them?
sure. So I guess with respect to India, I mean, quite a few top banks with whom we have partnered to join go-to-market to their customer base, to our customer base, and do the joint offering through the marketplace. So the top brands like Kotak Bank, uh, Yes Bank, HDFC Bank, Axis Bank, all of these banks are integrated with us today. We are taking the services live one step at a time. Different set of segments in terms of services, right? The connected banking piece that you said with
Mhm.
all the banks. With some of the banks, we are already integrating the credit card and the lending products offering. Uh, Similarly, in the UAE, we had a major win with the largest telco of the MENA region.
Mhm.
Etisalat is our distribution partner for the UAE market to begin with, and we would expand from there in the GCC and the rest of the markets. Uh, a very recent win for us has been Visa International. So with
Mhm.
Visa Global, we are now a certified fintech partner, wherein Visa will start taking us to their partner banks within the CEMEA region. That's where we are starting with, and we looking to uh, kind of use all the muscle and goodwill that Visa has established with their banking ecosystem worldwide to build the distribution reach for us.
Mhm.
Uh, and one of the very strong strategic partnerships Vana Networks is our supply chain financing partner. We are going to go out with them across the distribution and brands to do the joint offering, wherein together we essentially becomes an end-to-end offering, right from the AR, AP to access to credit and serving the whole supply chain, and with a very similar vision, which is aligned for us with global reach and cross corridor connect. So I guess
Hmm.
ultimately we're looking at serve India, serve UAE, get to Bahrain, get to Oman, get to US, get to some ASEAN countries, get to Indonesia, Philippines, and so on. And then at some point in time, start connecting these countries. So a seller or a buyer sitting in India versus UAE should be able to use the whole digital capability that we spoke about while they sit in these two different countries. But
Hmm.
we will reconcile, move their monies, settle their monies, and even provide them cross border trade finance on the same digital pipes. So I guess that's the journey which we are looking to build based on the partnerships that we have signed.
With this, I would like to ask you one very personal question. What is that one strong point about Hylobiz that we can vouch for?
Hmm.
One strong point.
Sure. Sure. So I guess it's trust is how I would address it, probably in one single word as well. Uh, right from the day one when we started putting the whole solution together, we were very clear that we are in a space wherein money will move through us, and there would be more and more money we will bring into the whole value chain through the financial services marketplace. And while we call ourselves an infrastructure play or a cool looking app on either side, or
Hmm.
APIs that we have as a product, I guess trust is what really mattered. Wherein trust on the SME side, on the business side, because that guy is essentially going to send his business information through us and expect money to come back. And trust on the banking side, wherein banks are able to open their APIs and rely on a API partner like us to bring the right messages in and move the money accordingly. So I guess winning that trust is what was very important for us, wherein I have tons of stories around it, maybe another day, wherein when we started going out to the market, there would be typical questions around why should we share our data with you? Why
Hmm.
should we collect our money through you? Will it ever come back to us or not? And those kind of stuff, right? I mean, so in one single word, and the strong proposition that I guess we have built over the number of years that we have been in this business is trust with the whole ecosystem, wherein your data is safe with us, your transaction is safe with us, and your money is safe with us.
That's great to hear. So we what we often hear as a business is that small businesses are facing trouble taking the next step towards growing. So what could be that major factor that is hampering them from taking another step?
Yeah, I guess historically, Nitya, if we look at it, there was certain call it resistance, maybe hesitation to adopt technology, to move on to the upcoming technologies. That is something which has been the case with certain segment of businesses, I would say, more so because of legacy. Uh, but I guess in the recent times, and more so with COVID in the past 2 years, which is more like, a real situation on the ground for the businesses, access to capital has become very, very tough and very tight. More so, I guess, even the underwriters are very wary of giving that credit lines to the businesses to help them
Mhm.
grow. Uh, Not that they don't want to again, but again, the whole process is so cumbersome, the data is so broken, no access to real time information and stuff like that. So I think two parts of it. One, adoption of technology, adoption of digital tools is something. which, in my humble opinion, is very, very critical for
Mhm.
businesses to grow, to build those efficiencies, to build those automations so that they can worry less about their day to day running of the business and think more towards the strategic growth, partnerships, alliances, and so on and so forth. Basically, business owner need not be worrying about these day-to-day micro pieces, while their brain should actually be spending time on more towards how to grow this business 5x and
Mhm.
10x and 20x. I guess that's what technology largely can do, and that's one recommendation or suggestion to my SMB friends. And the other one is the access to capital, which in a way is kind of interlinked with the adoption of tools, which wasn't so easy earlier. But the moment you start adopting such tools, it will come very handy, and that's where the world is moving with a lot of fintechs out there with cash flow based financing, revenue based financing. So the second important element basically is the capital. I mean, capital is the core resource for a business to grow, because end of the day, it's all about rotation of that capital and deploying that capital in a smart manner, and which the SME SMB segment is very, very capable and smart on. So I guess these are the
That's
two core pieces which I would recommend are important for businesses to follow through.
so with customers comes finances and cash flows for business health. Bad cash flow management can be a bad news for a small business. What measures as a small business would you suggest?
Have absolute and real time view on your cash flows. Know it on a daily basis, where your monies are. Are they out there in the market? Are they in the bank? Or is it with one of your collections or a sales guy or in your accountant's drawer in form of a check or a cash?
Hmm.
Because money in transit or money in someone's pocket is as good as no money, from the business owner's standpoint, right? I mean, it is still not with him.
Mhm.
So I guess an absolute visibility on the cash flows is very, very critical for the business owners. Uh, and the moment you have it and you have the required hooks and tools around how to manage it, uh, you would be sorted 80-90%, and balance of the issues around access to other financial services will become very handy. If not with us, many other players out there who would be delivering API driven access to financial services straight through the banking ecosystem as well. So yeah, so I guess having a tighter control, just not looking at the dashboard, but an end-to-end visibility on where the money is. It's very important.
So with this, our session comes to an end. It was a great session, I have to say. So small and medium enterprises are the backbone for any socio-economic development of the country. The vision that Hylobiz holds to digitize and empower the SMEs is truly appreciable. More power to the team. Thank you, Vishal, for joining us in this forum and sharing your valuable insights on this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nitya. Lovely
Bye.
talk. Bye bye.
Bye.